Boeing 747. The Boeing 747 is an American aircraft made and built by Boeing. It was the biggest jet of its time, but how did such a massive aircraft get a start? Where does all the fame come from, and what versions exist? The market at the time. In 1963, aviation was growing rapidly. It was the golden age of aviation, so airports were getting filled up very quickly and slots became restricted. So Boeing saw an opportunity and took it. They wanted to make an aircraft twice as large as the Boeing 707 and its competitor, the DC-8. When Boeing presented the concept, a lot of airlines were very interested, including big airlines such as Pan Am, TWA, American Airlines, and a lot of other airlines. And so the decision was taken to start development. The development of the 747 was very hard and complex, since nothing this big had ever been attempted before. After around 6 whole years of development, the concept was presented to airlines and they liked it. Therefore, on Boeing's 60th birthday, Pan Am ordered the jet in 1969, followed by a lot of other airlines. The launch. On February 9, 1969, 26 flight attendants representing each of the different airlines that ordered the 747 posed in front of the aircraft's assembly line in Everett, Washington. Over the next 10 months, an extensive flight testing program followed, involving 5 airplanes and over 1,400 hours of flying. The 747 was certified by the FAA for commercial passenger service on December 30, 1969. In January of 1970, the first 747 was delivered to Pan Am. This very first jet was named Clipper Victor, and passenger operations started on January 22nd of that year. After that, orders came in and it was very successful, around 200 orders. That may not sound very good by today's standards, but back then it was extremely good. The next variant. Continuing on the success of the very first Boeing 747 variant, Boeing looked at launching a stretched version of the 747, the 747-200. After testing and developing for about a year, the -200 was introduced into service, with more powerful engines and a greater maximum takeoff weight. The variant achieved a range of 6,000 nautical miles, or about 11,000 kilometers, making it viable on international routes previously not possible with the -100 variant. The 747-100/200 operations. After the 747-100 and -200 were rolled out, 3 more 747-100 variants were made for specific markets, such as the -100SR, which is short range, higher seating capacity for the Asian market. There's also the SP, which is a very short version of the 747, though only 2 airlines ever ordered the jet. The next generation 747s. In 1980, Boeing unveiled the 747-300, which is a larger variant of the -200 variant. The iconic hump on the 747 was stretched by about 7 meters, 23 feet. This was done after market research showed that the 747 needed more passengers. Because of this, a pair of emergency doors on each side was added. It wasn't just the size of the upper deck that increased its capacity, but also how passengers accessed it. This was done by a straight staircase, which freed up more space than the spiral staircases on previous models. And so, in 1982, the Boeing 747-300 was ready to take to the sky. It rolled out of the factory on September 21st, 1982, with its first flight taking place just 2 weeks later. On October 5th of that year, the first very new flight took place with Swiss Air. The jet never became very successful, with only around 80 built. This was because it was greatly overshadowed by the 747-400, which we will come to. The 747-400. In 1985, The -400 variant was proposed as a major upgrade to the previous generation 747s. 7 early customers were interested, namely British Airways, Cathay Pacific, KLM, Lufthansa, Northwest, Qantas and Singapore Airlines. They were all looking for major upgrades to the 747, such as a glass cockpit and new engines. Development went on for about 3 years, and so in 1989, the 747-400 entered service with Northwest Airlines. It was a massive upgrade to the previous 747 variant. It featured new upgrades such as a new glass cockpit, new engines, new winglets, new wings, and a whole new cabin. All of this made for an aircraft that only needed 2 pilots instead of 3 pilots. And the variant became a massive hit with over 600 built and made. A cargo variant was also made, and this became a big hit for cargo operators because of its fuel efficiency and its sheer amount of cargo carrying capacity. In 2000, 6 747 variants had been introduced, and the program did not sell anymore. Although around 1,500 747 aircraft had been delivered, 660 of these being the 747-400. There were also some military variants, such as tankers and the very famous Air Force One. Just quickly here, if you're enjoying what we're doing here on the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and leaving a comment down below on how we maybe could improve. Thank you. Further development of the Boeing 747. On November 14, 2005, Boeing announced a new 747 variant, referred to as the 747 Advanced prior to its launch, later named the 747-8. The -8 variant uses similar General Electric GE9X engines and cockpit technology as on the Boeing 787. The variant is designed to be quieter, more economical and more environmentally friendly. The 747-8's fuselage is lengthened from 71 meters to 77 meters, or from 232 feet to 251 feet, marking the first stretch variant of the aircraft. The passenger version, named the 747-8 Intercontinental or 747-8I, is designed to carry up to 467 passengers in a 3-class configuration and fly more than 15,000 kilometers, or 8,000 nautical miles. This variant also had a cargo version, the -8F, which sold much better. Only 3 airlines ever altered the -8I variant, and some 20 cargo airlines operated the -8F variant. And so, compared to other variants, the 747-8 did not sell very well. This was because 4-engine aircraft used so much more fuel compared to twin-engine aircraft, and it just wasn't economical for airlines to operate the type. How many are still flying around today? As stated, around 3 airlines operate the 747-8I, and around 20 cargo airlines operate the -8F. This is down dramatically from the 70s and 80s, where nearly every big airline operated the 747. You can thank the corona pandemic for that, as British Airways, KLM and some other airlines retired the 747 because of it. Also, the economical factor is also big, and oil prices has risen a lot since back then. The legacy. The 747 started a new era in aviation, a very big one. Although not many are left in operation today, it was a giant in aviation in the 80s and 90s. But today, it's becoming a more and more rare sight. This is because of rising fuel prices and a bigger environmental impact. Although the Super Jumbo will live on for a very long time. Later.